Hello, Leo, and welcome to your July 2024 forecast. It's really great to see everybody. I hope you're doing well. We're going to get started with channeled messages in just a moment, but first things first, this can be used for sun, rising, and moon. Now let's get into those channeled messages. All right, the first thing that came through this morning was this interesting sort of almost special effect-like thing that I was seeing in dreams, where I was looking at a wall, and then all of a sudden I saw writing on the wall, kind of like graffiti, and then it faded back into the wall. So it's kind of like a warning sign, or even like looking beneath the surface, making sure that you're looking at all the details. But to the sort of message around warning signs or red flags, if you have a sort of intuition that it's time to take a step in a new direction, or that you really need to follow up on something, listen to that. The phrase, the writings on the wall, usually means that you can see that something's about to come to a close, and that would connect nicely to the World card that we have here. In short, this means that even if you feel like there's hesitation in taking that next step, or if you wish that things would stay the same, the one thing in life that is constant is change, and it feels like the sooner you're able to let one thing go, the sooner another door is going to open up for you. So I feel like that's the big takeaway here, is not to hang on longer than you need to look at those little red flags or those indications that it's time to move on and to follow through. All of that being said, star energy came through next. It feels like you have time now to prepare for something new. I saw a stage, the lights were on, but nobody had yet come to see the show. So that means this is dress rehearsal time, a chance to sort of get prepared, get ready. Many of you may be in a phase where you're doing some research, where you're starting to even kind of like dream or plan like what something will look like in the future, a next step. And the homework, the preparation, and just the act of allowing yourself to think, what if, ... That sort of brainstorming energy is so powerful. It's also the same thing that we would connect with like Two of Wands. Dream it, then do it. The final thing that I saw in dreams was an unmasking, a revelation, a big reveal. And this had to do with a person in your life. Now, it could be a very positive thing. Maybe someone is interested in you. Maybe someone has good news that they want to share. It could also be that someone just doesn't show up the way that you expected them to. The moon is about secrets, surprises, and illusions. That's why I featured it here. The one thing that I really did take away from the dream was a lesson I've learned in life as well, which is when somebody either declares or through actions reveals their true character, don't try to argue it or change it. Just sort of say, thanks for letting me know. So if somebody, for instance, tells you they're not good enough for you, take it at face value. Say, okay, I'm glad you let me know. Don't try to argue. Don't think that it's low self-confidence. It could just simply be them speaking their truth, trying to save you some trouble. And if someone is not that interested in something, don't force the connection. That's the other sort of takeaway there. If someone shows better than expected qualities, then also embrace that too. There's something that is a bit of a surprise, and whatever the big character reveal is, for better or for worse, it's actually always for your benefit, so long as you really, embrace that person's truth. And that's going to save you a lot of time in the long run. I've had instances in my life where people have come to me and said, I'm not a good person. And lo and behold, they showed characteristics that backed it up, or said, I'm not good enough for this. And the truth of the matter is maybe they just didn't accept themselves, or they didn't feel ready. But whatever was going on there, that was a truth that they spoke. And now I always listen when someone says something, okay? Now, there could be someone that's a little jealous. That was the other thing that I picked up on. Remind people that there's room for more than one star in the sky. Like energy attracts like energy, just like a constellation or a galaxy that we would look up and see in the sky. Why can't we have that in real life? One person's power and success does not mean that someone else can't be equally as successful and happy. So that's the last thing that I wanted to mention there. So we'll quickly review this, and then we'll get into the card spread here. So something's coming to a close. There are some indications of that. Please embrace that. Something better is coming on the horizon. Some preparation work might be needed right now. And finally, there could be a reveal. Whatever that reveal is, like I said, for better or for worse, or whatever surprise it might bring, embrace it. Let's go ahead now, give the cards a shuffle, and see what other messages are coming through for the next 6 to 8 weeks. All right, close your eyes and again, focus on bringing in the highest messages, whatever guidance you need to see right here, right now. All right. All right, let's get started with your catalyst. For your catalyst, you have a chemical element here known as antimony, and it is basically something that is used in alchemy, and it has corrosive qualities, which is interesting. The one metal that seems to be pretty resistant to it is basically gold. So it's very interesting that when we're looking at you this month, we have the rebuilding energy of the Tower reversed. And you can see things sort of falling away from that. I mentioned the writings on the wall. So for some of you, there could be a person, place, or thing that's exiting, but whatever stays or whatever comes next is the gold. And so sometimes we need to kind of like clean up or move away some of the debris. And that's really what this energy is bringing forth. Necessary change. And if something needs to exit stage left, it will this month, okay? It's also known as the gray wolf because of its color. Wolves, of course, are wise, sometimes a little sneaky because they can be on the moon card, but they're also seeking a pack. So some of you might be looking for your own sort of chosen family, right? And I think that this month, if certain people are, again, falling away, I think that the better connection is en route. So that's what I'm picking up on so far is necessary changes, necessary exits, and we'll be looking as we take a look at the larger spread for the opportunities for the true gold to come forth. All right, before we begin, I see 2 cards that are synchronicities. Deep Past, the Star. This is you having already set that stage, maybe just needing to go back there and, really feel that confidence. And then we have the World here. Again, a door is opening up for you. So I just wanted to highlight that before we get into things too much. I also like that we have you finding your voice here in the outcome. We'll take it card by card now before we get too far ahead of ourselves. So at the center, we have the 9 of Wands, a card of perseverance, hard work, and a reminder you're very close to the finish line. If we take one moment to basically look at the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, you can see that evidence of hard work, and it's showing up in the crown chakra. A lot of times we can get in our own headspace a little bit about how we're measuring up to other people or just basically putting too much pressure on yourself, especially with this card in reverse. So one thing that I would say right off the bat is just give yourself a little bit more credit and a little bit more freedom to learn from your mistakes, to celebrate how far you've come, and not to burn yourself out. You may also be experiencing things like migraines or difficulty in concentration, maybe just a headache. So get some rest, meditate if you need to, shake up the schedule a bit. This does feel like it's manageable, but it often comes because of pressure or just simply overworking or overexerting yourself. In this card, we can see that the person is starting to heal. We have all these stitches on the shirt, but we also have the source of some of the challenges here with the rose. So this is why I think one of the big takeaways, even right here at the beginning this month, is there's something in your life that could be that thorn in your side. And if it is consistently creating that, if it's, causing difficulties or pain, or just it's in your head too much, it's time to let it go. Again, it could be an activity, could be a person, could be a place, whatever this is, it's your chance to say, you know what, I need to focus on getting to the finish line, and this is a distraction. The reverse of this is just showing you that it's like right within reach, whatever it is you're trying to do. We do have that beautiful rose blooming there. It's going to be your moment to bloom soon as well. So don't give up, continue to push. And then we have one of the ultimate cards of expansion crossing that, the World. This is a great card in every single aspect. When we're looking at personal development, it's basically passing with flying colors. Same thing in school or in work. It's also a chance for wider sort of approval, and if you're trying to distribute or make a splash with a product or a service, it's basically the ability to do that and then some. You're also pulling in people from different parts of the world. You have an ability right now to have greater outreach. This is like broadcasting, distribution, dissemination, acclaim. It's all positive. Some of you may also be thinking about moving, or just possibly in the process of moving or traveling. We can see the globe right there. So try to take your time, stay grounded as you're going through this, and remember what it's all about. What is the goal? What is it you're trying to accomplish? Keep your sights on that, and you've got nowhere to go but up. Literally, as we're looking at the deep past, I feel like you're getting a second chance at this star energy. So it was reversed in the past. Oftentimes we feel the need to mute our light, not to be too sort of loud or successful, or even just stand out too much. The reverse is true now. It's your turn to flip that around and say, you know what? We have many lifetimes that we spent on this planet, but one chance at this one. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to just basically shine and be happy, and people can take it or leave it. There's that sort of energy of now or never with this. This is also a chance for you to go deeper into a creative or spiritual or passionate sort of path that you really believe in. The star is your connection to source and your connection to spirit. And it's a rebirth or a sort of genesis sort of card here as well. But this time around, go bigger, go bolder, go brighter. And that's what I'm getting with that, okay? There is room, as I said, we'll pull this card up, or this basically slide up one more time. If there's someone in your life that is jealous or outspoken about what you can or can't do, this very last bullet here is important. Remind them that there is room for more than one star in the sky. Your light does not diminish theirs, okay? And that's my big takeaway on that. We'll talk more about this a little bit later, but let's move on to recent past. We have the Three of Swords. Interesting, the rose sort of energy coming through. It feels like for some of you, it may take a couple of sort of incidents in life for you to truly sort of see someone for who they are, as I was talking about. When that realization comes, there is liberation and freedom where you're like, enough is enough. This could be the same with like a place that you're working where, one time too many, they ask for something or they cross the line. Let this be the last time for those of you that are going through that. The other thing that we can take away from this beautiful illustration of the Three of Swords is pain can be a way of strengthening the heart. If you can make it through something difficult, oftentimes the easiest example in all of our lives would be loss. If you live long enough on this planet, there's going to be someone in your life that you have to mourn the loss of or the passing of. And when you realize you have the strength to get through that, little things don't bother you as much. And so I feel like this month, one of the big messages here is don't sweat the small stuff. You've been through more challenging things in the past. Whatever it is that might have been presenting itself this time around, it feels like you're done with the karmic cycle, and the big sort of move or push is around expansion and you being yourself. So a little bit of healing needs to be done for some of you, but for many of you, you're finally through with whatever this was, and you're like, let's bring on something better. Speaking of which, your crowning energy is the Emperor, and this is a really good sort of call to action when it comes to standing up for what you believe in, using your voice. For those of you that want to launch a business or sort of like just really put your energy behind something, this is the ultimate boss card. You have the potential, you have the power. Really focus on what's coming through your crown chakra, your imagination, your intuition, and your thinking skills. People are going to be seeking that out right now. It's really easy to see this when you start to look at what's going on here from the top to the bottom here. So we have Emperor, World, Star. This is a chance for expansion, for a chance to shine. And you have 3 roadblocks here. Like I said, one is allowing yourself to move beyond a painful person, place, or thing. The other one is not to overexert yourself and to just see how far you've come. And now we're getting to the near future here, which is to release the devil you know. So 4 of Pentacles is basically, it's nicely illustrated here. It can be something where you lock yourself into something even when it's unnecessary and it's not enough. So we literally see them with the padlocks on this particular illustration, and she's kind of stuck in this prison of her own making. It's a little easier to see what the card is really about here in the traditional illustration. Someone is holding on to 1 pentacle or coin right around their heart. Let's give some real life examples of what the 4 of Pentacles can be. It can be a relationship where the partner can't give you something that's really essential that you want, but you keep them in your life anyway, just because you're afraid of what it might be like to not have someone there. It can be holding on to like a job or an activity that is not fulfilling, that doesn't give you what you need, because taking a risk on something new could be scary. And so people will say, well, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. They're both devils. And you don't know that something unknown is even a devil at that. It's better to take a risk and take a leap of faith and unlock your potential. I remember a song as a kid by Madonna, and literally is open your heart. I think she says, I hold the lock, you hold the key. So in this situation, you do hold the key to unlock your own potential, to unlock whatever it is around your heart that you desire, to unlock your star potential, to embark on the world energy, and to do so with the sort of power of the Emperor. So it's all here in the cards. The only things holding you back could be a little bit of like a setback, some heavy emotions, for some of you some fatigue, and again, maybe just holding on to something because it feels safe and predictable. I have news for you though. Change is happening whether you're ready to embrace it or not. We see the wheel and the wheels here, the cogs in the Wheel of Fortune starting to move. We also see the tower. So change is afoot, and it's change for the better, because this is hopes, fears, and opportunity. Not only that, we have the Lovers, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Page of Swords. Everything here is great. It's just about accepting, embracing, and being the agent of the necessary change. You can't stop the tower. I've been reading cards long enough to know that when the tower comes into the spread, it's the universe saying, please, 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 this is the moment to really make the necessary change. If I turn this card upright and you look at what's going on here, this person could either simply be embracing change and saying, I'm not afraid, or she could actually be the one that is creating the tower moment and saying, I'm ready to kind of take this down, like renovation work. Let's take down this wall, let's build something better. It is your own way of being basically, again, the agent of change or reclaiming your power. And by doing so, you have a chance to mold or reshape the outcome. You know, a nice analogy for this is for those of you that have ever taken a class with pottery and you work with the potter's wheel. It's very appropriate since we have the Wheel of Fortune here. You can spin it in any direction that you want. But if you've kind of created like a cup, a vase, anything that you're trying to sort of build up on that potter's wheel, sometimes you make a mistake, you push it, and it gets kind of misshapen. On a potter's wheel, you can just put some more water, break it down back into the clay, and then begin anew. You have a chance this month to do the same, figuratively speaking, with something in your life. If you see change coming, speak up. Your outcome card actually is a very outspoken card, the Page of Swords in reverse. This would be someone stating their wish or intention, and by doing so, they have a chance of making that happen. So if you see a merger or restructuring happening at work, speak up, talk to your boss, say what it is that you want to do in this new sort of version of the company. If you see there's something going on in your relationship that doesn't feel right, speak up, say, let's talk about this. I love you, I care about you. What are we gonna do to fix this? Always be positive, affirmative, but also be really honest and If you are able to do that, the Tower is not something to fear. It's an opportunity for you to clear, kind of like this, right? To clear out whatever doesn't need to be there, and then the true gold is going to stay there. Not the fool's gold, but the true gold. And whoever and whatever sticks around beyond that change is the real deal. And so I feel like you get a chance to see true friends, true opportunities, and again, even your own true potential and true power, because it's all here in the cards, okay? It does require a little bit of courage and a little bit of communication, but I believe in you, Leo. So let's see what else is going on here. You don't have to do it alone. So in the environment here, we have a really affirmative card here and a helpful one at that, the Lovers. This doesn't have to just be romance. This could be a friend, an advisor, even a family member that you could lean on that loves you unconditionally and is saying, hey, I've got your back. I'll help you out. So no matter what's going on here this month, I see someone rising up to the top here, and this is the gold that we were looking for. Yes, it also can be love, by the way. We'll go much deeper into that in the expanded forecast, but there's something interesting about this person. It feels like they come with a sense of surprise, and it's kind of like the rug's pulled from underneath you, because we have the Tower underneath the Lovers. So if you've ever gone head over heels for someone, that's the kind of energy that I see here. This could also be someone whose life is still kind of like unstable. They could be on a rebound. You could be on a rebound. I really would love for you to take your time, because you could get lost in this kind of energy. There could also just be really good news coming through, and this changes everything. So it could be change for the better, but it could also be chaotic change. So definitely take your time here. I also see someone that is an old soul, if not maybe even an age or maturity gap. We'll look more at that when we go into love, but even now I'm seeing that. The good news here is, as we look at hopes, fears, and opportunities, it's one of the most valuable and positive cards in the major arcana, the Wheel of Fortune. If we zoom in really close, there are two things that are very interesting on this, the heart and this little timepiece here. So when you're doing what you love, time really doesn't seem to matter as much. In fact, it goes quickly. This is a chance for you also to prioritize things that bring a sense of passion in your life. Passion equals productivity, and love and passion are something that we sometimes undervalue in life. Look at all the cogs here in this machinery. This is your chance to also rise above that. Maybe some of you are sick of just being a cog in the machine, and you're saying, you know what, I want to be the boss. Well, you have the ability to make that happen this month. The Wheel of Fortune shows positive changes when it comes to general health, your money, and just change for the better. Like I said, with the Tower in reverse, the Wheel of Fortune helps modify that or affect it in a positive way. And it's saying now is especially the time to make necessary changes in personal development, your health, your finances, all the stuff that we'll be looking at here in the expanded forecast. But the possibilities are very good this month. And again, you're overdue for success. So I'll do everything I can to help kind of accentuate where you can focus on that this month. In the outcome, we have the Page of Swords in reverse. And this is, very interestingly enough, kind of like a wish fulfillment card. Normally that would be the Nine of Cups. But in this illustration, what we see is that your ability to articulate, to demonstrate, to put something into writing actually helps make the wish come true. Many of you are thinking, but Nicholas, why can't people just intuit? Why can't they read my mind? People are busy, they're doing their own thing, and many of them are just thinking, well, if this person needs or wants something, they'll speak up. This card is reminding you to do just that. Not only that, but because this card is reversed, Page of Swords is direct when it's reversed. It's also really good at listening. So you may, just by tuning into what's going on around you, you might identify someone that's interested, might identify a good connection. You could also pick up on something that needs to be fixed. So really good listening skills. And when communicating, it's not about a soliloquy and talking to no end. It's about getting what you need to say out there in the most authentic and concise way possible. But definitely speaking into existence your wishes and desires. I would like to do this. I am ready for this. How can we make this happen? Very short, affirmative, direct statements. That's your key to success. And that could possibly help you unlock some of what we see here in the Four of Pentacles. All right, let's go ahead now and go a little bit deeper into your extended forecast, taking a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to start off, as always, with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. All right, so the Oracle card here is such a beautiful energy, and it is reversed, so it's about having compassion for yourself. It all begins there. It's easier said than done, right? Sometimes we just beat ourselves up. If only I had known this. Why didn't I do this? I wish I would have communicated or done this differently. Give yourself credit for being strong. Love yourself here and now, and just make a change for the better today. You can't change the past. We all wish we had a time machine sometimes, right? It doesn't exist. It might even completely undermine what the whole human experience is, because the preciousness of this moment is what makes life so amazing. The finite amount of time that we have gives value to the days that we spend. Otherwise, like all the superhero movies with immortals, they grow bored. They actually become self-destructive. Because we only have so many moments here, and because we can only live each second once, we got to make the most of it. So don't waste one more moment on sadness or regret. I say that and I almost want to cry myself. Some of you out there have been beating yourselves up too much. Stop it. It's okay. Today, you are loved. Today, you're going to have compassion for yourself. Try to have the same compassion for others if possible. Start with yourself, forgiving yourself, and then have extra empathy for people around you. You never know the full story with what's going on with them. And that's the main takeaway here. But because I'm reading for you, love yourself, be kind to yourself, forgive yourself. And if you need help with any of that, reach out to someone who can help facilitate that. Let's look at all of the cards here and see what other messages are coming through. You know, this is very interesting when we're looking at a health card, because I mentioned it has corrosive qualities. Things in your life that could be eating away at the integrity of your health. It can be sort of like a habit. Too much of anything, particularly like acidic foods or drinking or smoking or anything that kind of eats away at your general health. This is a month to really reevaluate that and see if it isn't creating more harm than good. And remember, moderation is everything. Less is more. Other things that I'm picking up on just by looking at the cards. The Three of Swords, of course, has a myriad of things that you can look at here. It can be general cardiovascular health, like just your heart health, making sure that blood sugar, blood pressure, and cholesterol are where they need to be, and that your heart is healthy. And if you've never had an appointment with the cardiologist, especially as you get into your late 30s, early 40s, that's something you should look at. Just take care of yourself. Typically, this is just an emotional card. And I say just not to undermine it, but like, because it can be so many different things here. So if it is the emotions that you're dealing with, likewise, give yourself time to heal, reach out to get some help if you need to as well. It's in the past, it does feel like it's starting to ease out, but there may be a little bit of an echo, a little residual energy that you might be dealing with this month, okay? I mentioned earlier, Nine of Wands can be a headache. It can be concentration issues. It can also just be stress that you're putting on your body. The Four of Pentacles has another sort of connotation in health, and it can be holding on to stress in your life, holding it in the shoulders and any of the muscles in your body, TMJ, kind of clenching down. Again, when we're looking at headaches, stress finds a place to manifest in your life. So when was the last time that you focused on yoga, meditation, breathing, low impact exercise that just kind of helps you work all of this out? If you can't remember when the last time was, today is the day to figure out what works for you, for your body, etc. That'll help you with all of this. It might be time to clean the house. This is showing up in you, so it could be the energy around you. It could also be creating better sort of schedules in your life. Maybe you're not getting enough sleep, maybe not having a consistent sort of eating schedule. If there's chaos in how you're taking care of yourself, sort that out. If there's chaos around you, time to clean the house. If you're in the middle of a move, do whatever you can to feel safe, grounded, and connected. The one real source of power and success and support this month is in people around you. So whether it's your friends, your lover, your parents, whoever you really care about, your pet, as little Apollo's in the background, actually he's over here, wherever your sort of connection is, that's where I really see the power. And speaking up, if you have questions around your health or well-being, please bring that up. But generally speaking, these are manageable and clear areas to focus on. So hopefully I've given you something to think about. Compassion is the toughest one. Loving and forgiving yourself. If it were easy, it wouldn't come through here. I get it. It's difficult sometimes. Let's move on to wealth. You have a really interesting card that came through in wealth. It's clouds. And we even see the clouds extending into that third eye there. So when we're looking at resources, career, etc., some of you may be in this phase of confusion or lack of clarity. This reminds me a lot of the Seven of Cups, because you see someone looking up into the sky with all of these options or opportunities, and it's sort of like, where do I go next? I was reading in one of the signs, or maybe one of the weekly collectives, someone just said, I don't even know where to start. That's completely okay and normal. Just, I think one thing to do is you can figure out what you don't like. This is a great way to look at career planning, life purpose, etc. If there are things that you're very clear that you've had enough of in your life, put those on the don't list. If there are things that get you generally intrigued, curious, or excited, put that in the possibilities list, and let that at least be the beginning of your exploration. Let's go ahead now and dig a little bit deeper into the different levels of career that we normally look at here. So I'm going to try to get you out of the clouds here. As always, we'll focus on 3 general categories: those that are in a job, job seekers, and then students and retirees. Let's begin with those that are already employed. Well, I have good news for you. This actually feels like there's a window of opportunity opening up. You might have been passed up for something in the past, the star in reverse. And we can see here too, maybe you were held back by a boss or someone else that just wasn't ready to let you go. I feel like that's changing right now. And also you could have a conversation with someone this month and say, you know what, I'm really ready for this. And in your own heart of hearts, you know that it's going to be like, it's going to happen in the next year or it's not going to happen. And so you can put that out there and remember what I said in the channeled messages. Simultaneously set the stage for another tomorrow, another opportunity. State your intention to the present employer. They know your wishes. They have a chance now to get it in motion. If they don't, you'll have an iron in the fire over there, and then you can call their bluff. So that's kind of what you want to do. The fact that you actually have something going on the side could make things happen faster, because they're going to sense that they may need to do something or they lose you. So expansion is possible, but it may require you having a plan B and being willing to go to that plan B. Oddly enough, you may decide to go anyway, because when you have to leverage an offer like that, it's not great to have to stay in a place that will only promote you if you have to kind of like threaten like that. But if you've never articulated it, just give them a chance, because that may be what's going on here, is that it's just something that you were hoping that they would pick up on, but they haven't, so now you're going to put it out there. You are talented, you are capable. For many of you, it's sort of like it's been a bone of contention, so it's now or never, and I totally get it, and I hope that you can set this into motion now. You could be at a place where there's a big change, a change of boss, change of management, a merger. Massive changes are going on. You can embrace what's going on, or you can decide, like I said, no matter what, I think it's good to explore what's out there beyond the job. Also, if you're in a big enough company and you can look at transfer opportunities, now's the time to really put out a big sort of net of possibilities and see what you can pull in. I would love for many of you to have more abundance. 4 of Pentacles is not sort of ideal when we're looking at general wealth, but I do like the Wheel of Fortune. No matter what, even if you can't get a title increase or a growth sort of increase when it comes to like, feeling like you're growing in the job, I do feel like there could be a raise or a gentle bump here going from the 4 of Pentacles to the Wheel of Fortune. It is deserving of a conversation. So there's a chance to increase your wealth or your resources. I also see great ability here to make and forge some good alliances. These could also open up new opportunities in the future. There is a little bit of instability in some jobs right now, but it's not in the outcome. It feels like it's more around, like your job title needs to change. It's not like whether or not you have a job, it's more sort of like what you're doing. So your division, your title, something around you is shifting, and it's a matter of Also, is that what you want? So I'm picking up on change. And I also see that many of you can, kind of like we were talking about the potter's wheel, you can throw something out there and say, this is my goal within the next 12 months. And you're not making it an ultimatum, but energetically, you're kind of putting it out there. Like, if this doesn't happen, I'm going to have a plan B. And that's my advice for you. So embrace change, be an agent of change. You may have to roll with the punches because there is no choice, especially if there's a new boss or if they're kind of merging things. What we didn't get was death energy, but the tower can show that for some of you, a select few, you may have sort of like they may give you an ultimatum. It's like, this is the new norm, or, you have an option. They could give you something like that. Most of you, it's okay though, because we have Page of Swords and Four of Pentacles here. It just isn't all that you're looking for. This is a month where you really want to be reaching for the star potential. So whatever that means for you, whether it's staying and trying to reshape your job, or it's reaching out a little bit to see what else is there, I encourage that, okay? Get some clarity. For some of you, it just feels like you have leadership that either they don't know what they're doing, or you don't know what they're doing because the communication skills are less than ideal. So it's a good time to ask. If you don't ask, you never know. So definitely put out questions and definitely express your wishes and desires, okay? That's everything for those that are working. One last thing, actually, I always say that, and then there's one last message that comes through. I do think overall that there could be, for some of you, stress could be eating into other parts of your life. So make sure that you're doing something to compartmentalize or decompress whatever stress might be sort of rubbing off on you from work. All right, now let's move on to job seekers. If you're looking for work, the tower shows that right now it's time to experiment with different approaches. Whatever you were doing, it's time to change that up a bit. This could also be you considering something completely different, taking, a 90-degree turn in your career and saying, I really want to go over in that field, or maybe you're going back to school or you're moving somewhere else. Major shifts, major changes, they're for the better. I encourage that. You may also want to take a job that it's all about change. So whether this is possibly, it could be social justice, it could be changing the legal system, it could be you going out there and campaigning for something to change. Whatever it is, there's something about doing something counter to the status quo. So if that's what your job or interest lies in, then I'm all for it. For everybody else that's just job seeking, here's what I see. A move absolutely could be advantageous. You might even be looking at a different part of the globe, deciding to go to a different country than where you're currently living. If you want to be an entrepreneur, absolutely. Star and Emperor cards and World cards have primed you up to do that. For me, what I see in this spread mirrors what I went through back in 2015. It's almost been 10 years that I've been doing this. But I had gone through a difficult sort of loss in my life of a loved one. I had been in a very high stress job. I had been doing all of that for, almost 15 years. And I just thought to myself, there's got to be something more. I was unhappy, I was stressed out, and I was clear that I had other goals. That perfect storm gave me the push that I needed to articulate, I quit. For many of you, you may be on the heels of that and you're like, I want to do this. So after quitting was the easy, I say that it was difficult to do, but the tough part then really after that is reinventing yourself and deciding what's next. So if you're job seeking, there is a chance for you to not rinse and repeat, but rather to build, to pick up the pieces and rebuild something different for yourself. So I definitely get entrepreneurial energy, but it could come in the form of a group of people working together. So when you build a business, sometimes you have 2 or 3 partners. So you don't have to do this as a sole proprietor. It could be a multi-partner operation coming through. Make sure you have the capital to make it happen. But I do see self-starter energy coming through. Finances are a little tight for job seekers right now. Some of you may decide to stay with a friend. Room with someone for a bit until you get on your feet. I actually think that's ideal. It's going to take some of the pressure off of you and allow you to focus on finding the right fit rather than the first thing that comes through. When it comes to timelines here, we can look to the Page of Swords, and it could take up to a month. Give yourself time and keep throwing out as many sort of resumes and inquiries as possible never stop seeking or wishing. This card is very optimistic and very persistent. Just like the Nine of Wands, it doesn't give up, okay? But it could take the better part of the month, so be patient. And like I said, if you can lean on the support of others, absolutely, this is a great time to do that. So that's for job seekers. Let's go ahead now and focus on students. I actually get like a non-traditional vibe here when I'm reading students. Any age. Some of you may be deciding mid-career or even in retirement to go back and learn something new. Absolutely. Because with additional age and experience, you're actually going to soak in all of that knowledge even better. For traditional students, here's what I see. I was just talking to Virgo about this, so it's coming through for you too, but you may decide to spend a semester abroad. Yes, absolutely. It's a great way to expand your horizons. I see for many of you also just a little bit of burnout. It's not unmanageable, but some stress, a chance for you to kind of like regroup and also just pause for a second to audit, like see how far you've come and if there's anything you still want to do if you haven't yet graduated, just to make sure in this moment in time that you're really maximizing the experience of being a student. For those that are recent graduates, all the stuff that I was talking about for job seeking would fit for you. But the other thing is just to lean on the existing networks. The alumni network that you've built, that is invaluable, and it's going to come in handy time and again. I think for many of you, it's just sort of like there's an identity sort of question, like what am I, who am I, and what am I trying to do? I get almost a little bit of imposter syndrome where you're wondering, can I do this? Like, will this piece of paper or this degree mean anything when I get out there? Yes, and also it's not the end all be all, because the piece of paper is just acknowledgement that you went through all of that. But I think really embodying it and thinking to yourself, it's not just because you went to school, it's because you have passion and because you want to make it work that it's going to work. So you've got what it takes. It's just a matter of really knowing that you're more than a sheet of paper, you're more than your degree, and you're more than ready to really make a splash here. Feels like some of you are getting internships as well. I would encourage, again, an internship abroad if you can do that. All of that is great. For retirees, travel, absolutely. We've got the world here at the center. For some of you, you're digging a little bit deeper into your spiritual side, deciding perhaps to go more into something spiritual, metaphysical, meditation-based, yes, on all fronts. I do see a tightening of the purse strings. The good news is not all travel requires, getting on a plane. You could be exploring your own city. Also, for many of you, you might just be deciding to spend more time networking. There could even be new love or friendship on the horizon. With that being said, it's a nice segue to look at love and relationships. So let's do just that. In the area of love, lo and behold, we have the world. So for many of you, you're bringing in a friend or partnership from a different experience, a different walk of life. Could literally be from a different country. They could just be expanding your own sort of experiences and horizon. This could also feel, like I said, that your world is changing. If you meet someone that is special enough, it is like everything changes. The rug is pulled from underneath you, and each day after that is different. So we have two worlds, two people from two different parts of the world. It is a divine partnership. Let's break it down into three categories. We're going to look at those in a relationship, seeking love, and then of course those who are single and happy. The first thing that I want to focus on is the Tower. This can be a positive thing. It can be pregnancy, it can be a proposal, it can be moving. It can also be for many of you possibly even moving for a job. There's something positive coming through because of the Wheel of Fortune. So it's navigating change. Change can also, even when it's positive, be stressful. And this is where what we're looking at with the Three of Swords and the Nine of Wands could then disrupt the otherwise harmonious relationship. So basically just managing stress, being there for each other. For some of you, also just you get lost sometimes in your partner's drama, because this can be the chaos around the partner. Just remembering to stay grounded, to have proper boundaries, and to not take on more than you need to. That's the main things that I'm picking up on right off the bat from existing relationships. As I mentioned earlier, the Four of Pentacles is also about opening your heart, sharing your hopes, your dreams, your fears with one another, being honest with one another, not withholding. The other thing here is just making sure, I mean, in any healthy relationship, sometimes one partner gives a little bit more or takes a little bit more, but over time, there should be an average where it all balances out. If you're doing more of the giving or more of the taking, just figure out how to make that balance happen. And also just, it's a reality check here too. Consistently, if the partner is not giving enough, if that is creating some frustration, have a heart-to-heart about what you need. Remember, a big part of this is understanding that not everyone is good at reading, reading your mind or, reading the social cues. So sometimes you just have to get straight to the point. I need more of this, or I like it when you do this, and make it clear so that they can succeed. Definitely have a good talk around money. Four of Pentacles can be fear around having enough, but the Wheel of Fortune shows that the pooled resources or the joint effort can help assuage that. There is a strong sense of being right. The Emperor is someone who likes to have their way. So one or both of you may have a really sort of rigid approach to right and wrong or what's going to happen. So finding the middle ground, for finding a little bit of compromise is key. Also, there may be one very, very successful partner right now. The Star, the Tower, and the Wheel of Fortune, like taking off. And sometimes that can be a little bit off-putting for the other partner that might be struggling. Remember, you take turns at this, and like I said, there's room for more than one star in the sky. If one partner is shining, that's because you both have star potential. So just try to be mindful of that. Again, moving or managing a long-distance relationship with the two world cards could also be a challenge. And that's pretty much everything that I see for existing relationships, aside from the Tower, which can be a change. Marriage, pregnancy, move, something big. Again, double down with the world card, so a major change. Managing that change is the main challenge that I see. If you are looking for love, you could be pulling in an old soul or someone who's got more experience or maturity than you do, or they're matching your age and maturity as well. The interesting thing right now is it feels like two things could be in flux and could create some challenges. Some of you are traveling. Some of you may be moving. Some of you just got an advancement at work. And there may be a lot of focus on your personal development, your job, and your finances. So this relationship, which by the way is very much possible if you're looking for love, could definitely be a distraction, and it could be a little bit difficult to put as much time and energy as you want. In this case, you're going to have to speak honestly to the partner, honestly to wherever you're working. Just create more space in your life. That's the big challenge. The person that you're bringing in does seem to be either worldly or from a different part of the world or very knowledgeable, since we have all of these world energies coming forth. You may have very different ideas of what you want because of these two worlds connecting. So be open to finding a middle ground. Definitely some rebound energy. One or both of you could just be on the heels of a breakup or a divorce. So give yourself space and time. Generally, that's all I'm seeing here. Deep sort of connection to a past life here with the Star. So this time around, just take your time. That's the main thing. Don't rush things with all that what's going on here. For those of you that are single and happy, it's a good time to be single and happy. So much energy around personal development and financial growth. That's where the really strong energy is right now. And meeting new people. Even if you're not looking for love, it may find you. And definitely you have a chance to network and make new acquaintances, new friends, and have some fun in the process. Let's move on to the Destiny card. So we have Anubis coming through here with protection. But this is also a card of rebirth, death and rebirth sort of energy. Sometimes we protect ourselves against sort of the unknown. And as I said earlier, I think one of the big opportunities here is to embrace those energies of change and growth. And in doing so, it really allows you to connect here to things like the Wheel of Fortune. Interestingly enough, as we're looking at Anubis here, he's definitely connected to this energy here of antimony, change. As I said earlier, a necessary change is coming forth. Whatever falls away from that situation reveals what's supposed to be here. The people that love you and the opportunities that are worth your time, your energy, and as we can see here with this heart, your passion. So just Another reminder here that even changes that are surprising or possibly even inconvenient, it's still divinely decreed. It's still something that is going to help you see through the clouds, see the possibilities, and I think you're going to end up in a better place than where you started. Let's dig a little deeper into sun, rising, and moon sign messages to help you out, and especially for those of you that are watching for Leo, sun, rising, or moon. Let's give the cards a shuffle and see what's coming through. Sun, rising, and moon. All right, Leo, you are the boss this month. In the sun sign messages, we have the Queen of Wands coming forth. Look at this illustration. So we have the beautiful sunflower. Sunflowers are heliotropic. They follow the light. You are the light, especially since we had star power coming through. The other thing that we see in all Queen of Wands are the ability to create growth, oftentimes where others cannot. This is typically a card in the desert. This one is just focusing on all of the pollinators, all of the power of the sunflower, all of the growth. She has this sort of imaginative and innovative energy that sets her apart from the other queen or other court cards. So if other people say you can't do it, you prove them wrong. If it doesn't look like there's enough of something, you can think your way through it. Use your imagination, trust in your leadership, be the light. That's all the message from this. And also, you absolutely have what it takes to be a leader this month. I hope you embrace that. Let's move now from sun to rising sign messages. It's about being strategic in how you're spending your time and energy. Five of Wands oftentimes shows five people pushing the wands against each other, wasting time and energy. In this one, we see a person rising above, stepping into the Six of Wands or leadership energy, and that's the opportunity this month. Don't spin your wheels or waste your time on things that don't show a return. Avoid unnecessary competition and instead focus on what we saw in the environment, collaboration and cooperation. This is what's going to bring forth Wheel of Fortune energy. So also really be strategic about whatever opportunities you decide to engage in. If it doesn't make sense, if it's not moving the needle forward in the right direction, it's time for you to move in a different direction as well. In moon sign messages, decision time. It's your chance to really decide what it is that you want. It's interesting that we have justice with her head in the clouds. We actually had clouds coming through in wealth. So many of you are cutting through the ambiguity, the nonsense. You're going to lead by example and do the right thing. If someone else is trying to make you do something that doesn't make sense, you're going to put your foot down and say, this is not what we discussed. This is what I want. You're also being very decisive here because the Page of Swords came through as a reminder of the importance of speaking your wish into existence. So you have what it takes to do just that. One last message with justice. It's a great time for you to go after anything that you need to when it comes to a contract, possibly even dealing with something legal. When this card is in the upright position, it really has set you up for success, and it's saying now is the time to address that. Let's go ahead now and move on to the final question. This can be anything that I've yet to answer that you still need some clarity on. So go ahead and hold that question in your heart, in your mind. Let's see what the stars and the cards have to say. Wow, High Priestess, fantastic energy. In a yes, no, it's a yes. With this caveat, you're the one that is going to bring this forth. You have to believe in it and really trust your intuition. If you can see it and you can believe it here, you're going to be able to see it in the exterior. So believing is seeing is how I like to sum up the High Priestess. Take time to really exercise your intuitive and your creative mind and muscle this month. And I just dropped the card. Don't drop the moment. Don't let that intuition slip through your fingers like that. Really take advantage and seize the moment. And what you see, what it is that you're looking at, you know it. You'll know it when you see it. Trust in the first instinct, that first intuition. It's going to lead you in the right direction. That's everything for this month. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, do me a favor, like and subscribe. It's free, it helps the channel grow, and it lets me know that you enjoyed this. You can also follow me on social media so you never miss a future posting, video, or any relevant news. You can show some love right here on YouTube by giving back in a super sticker, super chat, and or a membership. All of this helps me produce new content like my podcast, so thank you in advance. A quick reminder, if there's anybody that reaches out on social media in a direct message, it's not me. And If anyone offers you a private reading, also not me, so just stay safe. And that, my friends, is everything for this month. Thank you so much for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube, for spending some time with me, for allowing me to be the channel for all of the messages that came forth. I wish you all the best.